Hello everybody, this is Peter Hoffman and this is step 2. I've already shown you how to put the first layer of leaded liner. Okay, this lead liner. This is what is used to create the stained glass look. Kind of like this is a piece of paper. And this was done with marker, all right, and then I put it underneath and created this work that you see here. And this is it took about 3-4 hours to do this. You can see it here, and we'll leave it right there. Now this one. This was placed underneath it, so you got an overview of how that was done. So now we've got part of the lead liner done, only in the terrain, because I don't want to do the sky yet. We're trying to keep the sky open so that we can just brush right over it. And including the clouds, we're going to use a little bit of blue. And so this is all ready to go. I am going to pull back a little bit of the tape that was holding everything in place because I want the brush strokes to be pretty smooth. Part of the technique is texture. You want texture. This smudged in here is going to actually create texture of a rock look. So the texture on the valley over here will be done with the color of greens and maybe some browns and stuff, maybe even some purple. All right, and this is going to be the radiating sun here. So we are going to use blue even in the radiating sun, but it's going to be a very thin layer of blue. It's what we call the first layer. It's going to create depth. This is part of the technique. So you get your brush and you stay away from the rocks, and this painting goes way beyond here, so I'm gonna go beyond and create this texture. Now, if you noticed, I didn't let that dry enough there, but I kind of did this on purpose so that you can see that is not drying, but I can scrape that off. I'm going to use that black later to help do all this. In other words, using a knife to scrape it is going to work really well. I didn't actually want to go into the sun, so but that's okay. Remember, mistakes are actually going to help you because it's going to create variety. Variety is good. You don't want it to look like a plain Jane type of glass, like bought glass. I've done stained glass windows for many years. You want to use junk glass. Junk glass has so much variety in texture and color, and you want to use multiple yellows and blues and stuff. So this is fine. You know, you're going to create another line here of this movement. Now this time I'm not going to go into the sun. I'm going to stay outside of the sun. But everything you do is going to create texture and color. So just stay away from the sun. And we're going to go put a little bit more in here. See, I'm creating a radiating look. That radiating look is going to show through the next layer. The sun radiates, you know, so you want to have a radiating look that's subtle but definitely there, so that you have a certain amount of underlying texture and beauty. And that's what we're doing right now, is just creating that underlying texture and beauty. And so this layer is the first layer of color. Note that I am using a big brush. Most of the details will be done with a small brush. A big brush is good for doing these wide expanses where you want to just get nice, cool. In fact, frankly, it's okay if you want to create texture that's a little bit like water, being that it's radiating out. That's okay too. You can do that, and I don't mind creating a little bit of variation here and getting a different look in different places. I just don't like boring symmetry. Symmetry is good, but boring symmetry to me is not. So we create a little bit of variation on this side, and I'm going to go back to the straight lines again over here like I did on the other side. Now you see I'm running out of paint here. So when that happens, obviously we got to get a little bit more paint. I don't like to get too much paint out and then have to pour it back in, because it's a little bit harder. You can see these things are sealed very well to prevent the smell and the hardening of the material, the evaporation, because they're pretty volatile. Volatility is really good because you want it to bake in the sun and penetrate the plastic, and that's what it does. It will literally penetrate into the plastic when this is sitting in the sun. It's like putting it in an oven, but the sun is your oven. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Now we got to create these little radiating areas like we had on the other side, where we just kind of follow the terrain. And you know, you have to remember this actually goes beyond here. So the white paper kind of stops there, but it still goes further. I didn't extend it because, you know, I pretty in my mind know what I'm going to do over there. So I don't need to draw it all out. And there it is. See, we got perfect amount here. Perfect amount. So that's it. That's the first layer of the color for the sky. Beautiful, huh? You don't want to put too many layers, because if you do, what will happen is I'm going to create a little bit of a corona here. I like a corona look too. You want variation, and a little bit of dark corona is not a bad idea, kind of like we saw with the solar eclipse. Creating a corona effect, and that's going to be all right. Nice, huh? So there, look at that. Used up all the paint. I'm going to close this up, and now you have turpentine here. Put the I'm sorry, I got a little bit off. You know, I was doing this here when I think I lost it. This is creating the corona effect here. And we have used up all the paint. So now what I'm going to do is put the brush into the turpentine. And that's turpentine. Now, they say you don't really need turpentine, you can just use water. But with this particular brand of paint, yeah, it's basically paint. It's acrylic paint, but it's highly volatile. Turpentine works better. Some of them, just water is fine, but turpentine on some of these is much better. So now step 1 and step 2 are completed. And we are going to do step 3 once this all dries out. So